Tonight, the leaked phone call raising new questions about Alberta's premier.
I can ask our prosecutors, is there a reasonable likelihood of conviction?
The recording, the conversation, and the renewed calls for an independent investigation. Prayers for Pope Francis as the pontiff is admitted to hospital.
As a Catholic, it's rough. Do you hear that?
And from the pool to the ring, two sisters, two world-class athletes.
The level of pride that your heart wants to explode.
Behind the scenes with one extraordinary Canadian family.
This is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
A new leaked recording is raising more questions tonight about just how often Alberta's premier is reaching out to justice officials to ask about ongoing cases. CBC News has obtained audio of a phone call from January between Danielle Smith and a man facing charges related to the pandemic. In that call, she says she's in frequent communication with the Justice Department and pledges to ask about his case again. This is just the latest incident to raise questions about potential interference by the premier, and it's coming just weeks before a provincial election. Julia Wong breaks down the call and what it could mean for Smith.
In a leaked recording of an 11-minute phone conversation, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is heard talking to Artur Pawlowski just weeks before his criminal trial for pandemic-related charges.
I'm very sympathetic. I think this is very frustrating to me that we find ourselves. Everybody has moved on from COVID, and we're dealing with a bunch of charges.
The pastor is charged with criminal mischief and a provincial offense in connection to last year's Coutts border blockade. In the recording, Smith is heard saying she does not have the power to pardon him, but she does have some reach.
I can ask our prosecutors, is there a reasonable likelihood of conviction? And is it in the public interest? And I assure you, I have asked them that almost weekly ever since I got started here.
In a statement, Smith says, "At no time have I spoken with anyone from the Alberta Crown Prosecution Service, nor to my knowledge have any of my office's staff." Smith says she has only spoken to the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General about the case. CBC News has previously reported sources said the Premier and her office were constantly pushing Justice Department officials to intervene in COVID-related court cases, amounting to inappropriate pressure. Smith says any communication was appropriate.
It's deeply concerning.
The NDP released video of the call. CBC News has obtained a full copy of the recorded conversation and has verified it. The opposition is renewing calls for an independent investigation into possible interference in the justice system.
Albertans deserve to know what happened, and Albertans deserve to be reassured that their justice system is independent of political interference.
We don't want political interference at any level. No politician should ever take this kind of call. It's surprising that the Premier did.
While Smith may not have broken any law, this professor says it's about the ethics.
I mean, it's not acceptable. I guess it's a question of what are the political consequences.
And with just weeks until an election campaign, that political impact could be the biggest on undecided voters, says this expert.
This is going to give them pause about her judgment. And that seems to be Danielle Smith's Achilles heel. She's smart, she's articulate, but she has a history in politics where sometimes she shows poor judgment.
And Julia, that election is coming up pretty fast. How do we expect the next few weeks to play out now?
So, Adrian, this particular issue has been following Danielle Smith around for the last few months, so don't expect it to be going away anytime soon. There's going to be focus on this as well as her overall fitness to be premier as we get closer and closer to that election, which is coming up in exactly 2 months from today.
All right, Julia Wong in Edmonton, thank you. There is growing concern tonight about the Pope's health. Just days before the beginning of Holy Week, the pontiff is in a hospital in Rome this evening after experiencing days of difficulty breathing. Katie Nicholson takes us through what we know right now.
Lent, already a somber season in the Catholic Church, made even more so by news from the Vatican.
Pope Francis has been admitted to hospital in Rome.
Prayers now for the pontiff.
It's shocking. I've just heard it the first time now. And as head of our church, I will pray for him.
For me, it's tough because I sort of came back to my faith thanks to Pope Francis.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, he's in his 80s. He has maintained an immense schedule.
In the morning, the 86-year-old held his weekly general audience before hundreds, even kissing a few babies.
Recemos por los migrantes.
By afternoon, the Pope was a patient, admitted here with a respiratory infection. Not COVID, the Vatican says, but symptoms he had had for days.
What makes older people particularly vulnerable is that if they have underlying chronic conditions, we know that it can be harder to mount a full immune response.
It's hardly a first for Pope Francis. As a child, he lost part of a lung following an infection. In recent years, he needed colon surgery. Arthritis and a broken knee have him relying on a wheelchair. Even standing, a challenge. The ailing Pope sparking speculation worldwide. The Catholic Church already buried one pope this year. Pope Emeritus Benedict laid to rest in January. And Pope Francis has never been shy about having a resignation letter signed and ready to go when he can no longer carry out his duties. Some hope that day isn't here quite yet. The Pope, she says, is very human and very close to us young people. He's a different Pope from those before him. A Pope many pray isn't replaced anytime soon. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
People in Ontario living with some autoimmune diseases are preparing for their medications to change. The province will soon be the latest to swap expensive brand name drugs for cheaper generic versions. Lauren Pelley shows us why some doctors and patients are concerned.
This month, Olivia Roman and her mom got the letter they were nervously waiting for. Word from the province that Roman has until the end of the year to switch off a life-changing drug. Going forward, the government's drug plan is only funding an option that's similar but cheaper.
Discuss biosimilar switch.
Roman is worried about the change after living with Crohn's disease, a painful digestive condition, since she was just 11 years old. As a teenager, she was on a feeding tube.
At school, everyone's having lunch and I'm just like there with nothing.
Her current treatment, an infusion of a drug called Remicade every 8 weeks, allows her to lead an active life.
So it's a little stressful thinking that I'd be forced to switch off a medication that's working for me.
Ontario is the 8th Canadian jurisdiction switching patients from a complex class of drugs called biologics to ones known as biosimilars. Both are used to treat conditions like Crohn's, colitis, and rheumatoid arthritis by curbing inflammation that can damage someone's organs or joints.
The medications are almost identical to the original, and they're just as effective.
But this physician says it's not always that simple.
If you choose a group of people who are doing well on their biologic and then force them to switch, most do fine, but a few do not. And this is shown by randomized trials.
What is clear is these medication swaps could save governments millions. Alberta alone estimated nearly $400 million in savings over 4 years. Ontario's health minister said savings in that province will allow the government to fund new drug therapies and bring innovation to the system.
So this is a biosimilar.
Sophia Kahn says her recent experience swapping drugs for Crohn's disease turned out well, but she worries that won't be the case for everyone.
Some people may have a loss of response to medication. That opens up the question, why would you switch a stable patient?
That's exactly what Roman fears most.
What if I'm not like most people? That's something that I don't really feel the need to find out, nor do I want to find out.
So, Lauren, we're not the first country to take this approach.
No, the U.S. has been approving more of these biosimilars in recent years, and many countries in Europe have been switching over quite successfully. Most recently, the European Medicines Agency actually declared these drugs interchangeable. But in Ontario, as we're making that switch, for patients who are concerned, there will be case-by-case exemptions.
Slowly. All right, Lauren Pelley, thank you.
Thank you.
Healthcare is, of course, one of the priorities in the new federal budget. Liberals were out defending today.
We're there to support with affordability. We're there to support with the cost of groceries. We're there to help Canadians through the difficult times we are, but in a targeted way that remains fiscally responsible.
The budget unveiled yesterday includes billions of dollars to support green technology, invest in healthcare, and expand dental care. The NDP is taking credit for much of it.
Yesterday's budget shows that when New Democrats have power, we get things done for people. That's what it's shown, that we use our power to make people's lives better.
And Singh pointed to the dental care expansion as a key win, but the Conservatives are not happy with this budget, saying it is driving federal debt too high.
Deficits drive inflation. How will Canadian families carry on their backs an extra $4,200 in government costs when we're already going broke as a country?
The party says it will not support the budget, but the NDP says it will. The budget's green tech plans include some ambitious undertakings, like building a green electricity grid right across this country and encouraging businesses to go green too. As David Thurton shows us, it's already generating interest and criticism.
Come on up here and I'll show you what we've done on this roof.
Since the budget was unveiled, the calls keep coming for solar installer Phil McNee.
In the last 24 hours, I've had multiple customers reach out and say, finally, something has happened.
New incentives mean more business.
This is going to be a game changer for our industry.
This week's budget earmarks more than $20 billion for the clean economy, much of it going to green investment tax credits, all targeted at helping businesses and utilities produce more clean power.
Dealing with climate change means using less fossil fuels, and using more electricity is most of the job. So that's more electricity in industry, more electricity to power our electric vehicles.
The government says it understands these challenges, and its budget offers solutions.
We also recognize we're going to need to double the amount of electricity we generate.
You might want to jump up and down and celebrate these big fat checks that he's throwing around.
Conservatives don't dismiss outright the need for incentives, but question their usefulness if projects get snarled in red tape.
What is absolutely clear is they can't get anything built.
It's cloudy outside today. It doesn't look like there's much sun, but I can guarantee you right now these things are producing energy.
The high-tech company that hired McNee to install these panels wants more of them, but its CEO says the local utility told them it can't handle the extra power he would produce.
It certainly helps, but at the end of the day, you can have all the money in the world, but if you can't spend it on what you want to spend it on, what does it matter?
More than just public dollars, this business wants all levels of government to make it easier for him and others to generate clean electricity. David Thurton, CBC News, Ottawa.
A candlelight vigil in Nashville tonight to honor the 3 adults and 3 children killed in a school shooting this week.
Why must I always be the thief?
First Lady Jill Biden was among the hundreds gathered, along with musician Sheryl Crow, who's pushed for stricter gun control. And outside the school, a makeshift memorial continues to grow. There's a growing outcry over the possibility that athletes from Russia and Belarus could be allowed to compete at next year's Olympic Games in Paris. Briar Stewart shows us why that might be in the cards and who's speaking out.
Ukraine won bronze in artistic swimming at the Tokyo Olympic Games, a year and a half before the war and before the team's pool was destroyed in a missile strike in Kharkiv. 2 of the competitors, Marina and Vladislava Alexieva, say their practices, now in Kyiv, are frequently interrupted by air raid sirens.
Coach said in the microphone, "Girls, it's dangerous, so come on in the shelter and we must stop our training."
The twin sisters say they'll boycott the 2024 Olympic Games if Russian athletes are allowed to compete.
Of course, we can't imagine to stand behind them and see each other on the podium, especially.
The International Olympic Committee says it hasn't decided yet whether Russian and Belarusian athletes can take part in the Paris Games. But it released recommendations to sporting federations that would allow some of them to compete in events and potentially qualify for the Olympics. Under the IOC's recommendations, Russian and Belarusian athletes could compete, but only as neutral, which means no flag or national anthems. They could take part in individual events, but not team sports, and anyone who actively supports the war or has a contract with the military or security services would be banned. Russia isn't happy, and neither are some other European countries like Poland and Estonia. Neutral status is an obvious discrimination based on nationality, said the head of Russia's Olympic Committee. We will protest very strongly against this, said the Prime Minister of Poland. About a dozen athletes and legal experts spoke out against the IOC's recommendations.
Can we really reach the protection of Ukrainian human rights with these conditions proposed yesterday by the IOC, or are they not enough?
It's not clear when the IOC will decide just who can take part, but many Ukrainian athletes say they will fight to keep Russian and Belarusian athletes from competing on the world's largest stage. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
Russia says it will no longer alert the United States when it's about to carry out missile tests. That news from a senior diplomat as Russia deployed missile launchers across Siberia, a show of its nuclear capability. For decades, advance notice of missile tests assured that neither country would mistake them for an actual attack. Meanwhile, what you're looking at there is the United States and South Korea carrying out massive joint military exercises on the Korean Peninsula. The operation included thousands of troops practicing storming a beach. North Korea has pointed to exercises like these as one of the reasons it's bolstering its weapons stockpile. American forces say these missions have been routine for decades. A warm reception for King Charles in Germany tonight. It's his first state visit as monarch. Abby Kuathasan takes us through the trip so far and the message it's meant to send.
A grand welcome for King Charles and the Queen Consort as they arrived in Germany for his first overseas state visit, where his mother made her very last. The royal couple was whisked off to Brandenburg Gate to receive full military honors, a tribute the government has never before given at the historic landmark. Greeted by the German president and first lady, Charles and Camilla shook hands with well-wishers. Others lined the sidewalk.
It's just interesting. I didn't really know how popular it was, to be honest, out of England.
While this is not a Commonwealth nation, some here feel a deep connection to the Royal House of Windsor, a family with German roots.
I've called it the borrowed monarchy. It's you get all the glamour and you get all the pomp and the circumstance and the fairy tales and all that, but no expenses.
Still, the relationship between London and Berlin has been fractured since the UK moved to leave the European Union 6 years ago. President Steinmeier called the King's visit the start of a new chapter.
Denn heute auf den Tag genau.
The two heads of state then honored the late Queen by planting a tree, a subtle move by a king who admitted he would need to check his environmental advocacy when he took the throne.
If you are not allowed to make political statements, how do you still make sure that people understand your message?
This former advisor to the king says leading by example will be the mark of Charles's reign.
I think he wants to make sure to all of us, all in humankind, that we cannot continue the way we are living.
On Thursday, King Charles will meet with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and address lawmakers in Parliament, perhaps saying less as the monarch, but making it clear where he stands. Abby Kuathasan, CBC News, Berlin.
Elon Musk has added his name to a group of experts calling for the world to press pause on the development of artificial intelligence.
The worst case scenario is obviously that we humans gradually lose more and more control over our civilization.
The threats they say it could pose to humanity. Next. Police say it's an elaborate scam putting some at risk of losing their homes.
At this point, it's at least $500,000.
A CBC Marketplace investigation tracks down how it happens. And later.
Like I told them, this is better than the mountain to me.
A bus driver gets a hero's welcome home after the adventure of a lifetime. We're back in 2. Those are the flames that were tearing through one of Thailand's national parks just 2 hours away from Bangkok. Authorities don't seem to know what caused the fire. There are reports it might have been caused by lightning and strong winds. Now, Elon Musk is among a group of tech leaders behind a dire warning tonight about what could happen if we don't slow down in developing powerful artificial intelligence. Thomas Dagler looks at the risks and potential solutions.
At this museum in San Francisco, artists have imagined a future where artificial intelligence says sorry for killing most of humanity. It's not meant as a joke, but a warning.
It's a really amazing technology. It's also really terrifying.
Now a long list of tech scholars and experts are saying the same. Billionaire Elon Musk, along with co-founders of Apple, Skype, and Pinterest, and others, writing bluntly in an open letter, AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risks to society and humanity.
What do you see as the worst-case scenario here?
Well, the worst case scenario is obviously that we humans gradually lose more and more control over our civilization.
They're urging developers to consider a 6-month pause in the enhancement of AI technology that can create human-like responses to user prompts, like ChatGPT and Google's bot known as Bard, to ensure proper oversight and planning.
The reason we want to avoid these sort of dire outcomes is because we want to realize the positive potential that the technology has to offer.
One risk is the ever-improving code will allow computers to outsmart humans and flood the world with mistruths, like this viral fake picture of Pope Francis in a puffy jacket, or those photos falsely showing Donald Trump being arrested.
We need to have legislation that says this content was generated by AI.
Innovation Minister François-Philippe Champagne insists the government's data privacy bill, which still needs to be passed, will regulate AI.
It sure does.
Easier said than done, says this expert.
Once it develops emergent personality, it becomes autonomous and effectively it becomes uncontrollable.
We asked ChatGPT about the future, and it sought to reassure us. I am designed to assist humans, it says, and not to replace them. Thomas Dagler, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, police are calling it a massive, elaborate scam. Vulnerable people tricked into renovations they don't need, leading to huge debts they cannot pay.
I'm probably going to lose the rest of the house now.
Coming up, a CBC Marketplace investigation looks into so-called loan-to-own scams. One in the pool and one on the ice, both rising fast.
Summer McIntosh.
That was huge. Throat trouble toe.
Devin Haru brings us the hopes and dreams of 2 remarkable Canadian sisters. The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping our world. Next. We have 2 important stories tonight with warnings for Canadian seniors and their loved ones. They involve 2 separate scams. Both target the elderly in different ways. The first one, police call an elaborate scam, and it's left some seniors at risk of losing their homes. Here's David Common with a Marketplace investigation.
This is the laminate, and you can see the tile floor that's underneath it.
It's sometimes called a loan-to-own scam, which involves equipment and poorly done renovations.
That's how they decided it should be left.
They just showed up at the door one day, he says, insisting the renovations were necessary and installing this low-quality floor. His mother-in-law, Danila, is blind. Her daughter didn't find out until later. As a nurse, she tried to stay away at the height of the pandemic.
They were safe from COVID, not knowing that there would be these predators that would come knocking at your door.
To pay for the equipment and renovations, the purported scammers used the equity from Danila's home as collateral. Later, those debts were turned into a mortgage, which Danila says she never wanted.
At this point, it's at least $500,000.
And with an interest rate of 25%, there was no way Danila could pay. Her family believes that was the point, to take her home. Lawyer Greg Whedon represents another of the victims.
It just evolved into an elaborate scam.
In that case, he believes the people behind some of the work on the house are connected to the mortgage lender.
They would just, sell him things that he didn't need.
CBC Marketplace found victims with similar stories across Ontario. Some have already lost their homes, others are on the edge.
I'm probably going to lose the rest of the house now.
There are multiple lenders involved, but most of those we've reviewed have at least one lender in common, Canada's Choice Investments. It denies any involvement in a scam, but acknowledges it's facing questions from police. And they're not the only ones. Various lawyers and mortgage brokers involved are also facing legal scrutiny.
That lender, Canada's Choice Investments, corporate records show their address is a mailbox in that UPS store. We did some digging, finding that homeowners in more than half of the 40 mortgages registered by Canada's Choice recently say they never sought a mortgage. Many of them believe Canada's Choice is involved in the scheme.
In a statement, they say they're not involved in any scam, describe themselves as an honest business following the law, which relied on lawyers and brokers to ensure the borrower was being represented, and argue they may be a victim of a concerted group of seniors who are refusing to pay back the loans. Christina is fighting to save her mom's home from a mortgage she could never afford.
It's huge, and I feel like they've been victimized.
She's far from the only one.
So, David, in addition to everything else, the emotional toll of this must be huge.
No question. And we've heard this from a lot of people who don't feel safe in the one place you should, home.
And what about the police? What are they actually doing?
Okay, so there is a very large investigation. Who the target is of that investigation, we don't know. No charges have been laid. They won't talk about companies or people. They just say that it's multiple agencies. Serious Fraud Office of the Ontario Provincial Police is leading that investigation, and it is complex right across the province. Where it leads, that's the question. But in the meantime, the advice is to seniors, vulnerable seniors in particular, don't answer unsolicited knocks at the door.
All right, David Common, thank you. Please make sure you watch David's entire Marketplace investigation Friday. That's at 8 p.m. on CBC television, 8:30 in Newfoundland. You can also stream it on CBC Gem. So police are warning about another scam, but this next one is a lot more high-tech than knocking on doors. Criminals are using artificial intelligence to fake voices and pose as a grandchild looking for help. As Ryan Cook tells us, it's so convincing some people have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You can hear me, can you?
That's exactly the situation police in St. John's say Charles Gillen helped concoct earlier this month. They say he conned senior citizens out of $200,000 in just 3 days. The court files spell out all the losses incurred by 8 victims. $39,000, $24,000, $38,000, $58,000.
What we have here is a sophisticated operation, certainly a crime network that has invested and is moving to use the highest level of technology available to them to obtain large sums of money in short periods of time.
Technology like cheap and easy to use AI programs that can clone anyone's voice.
Machine learning techniques are often used for things like image processing, but in some cases they can be used for things like either recognizing voices or, as we've seen recently, making imitations of existing voices.
Donna Leto swore she was speaking to her son.
He said, I've been in an accident in Toronto and I hit a woman that's pregnant and she's been sent to the hospital with multiple injuries. And he said, Mom and Dad, I need your help. Like that. And I said, oh, then we got really taken in.
A man posing as a lawyer asked the Letos for $9,800. A man came to their door later that same day and collected. Police have reported very similar scams all across Canada in recent months. coast to coast with millions of dollars lost.
It's important that if you receive a call of somebody who's stating they are somebody or an agency, and the call that person back directly to ensure that you're speaking to the source.
This kind of technology comes with a lot of amazing uses, but also potential for devastating consequences. I spoke with one woman who lost $58,000. She handed it directly to a man who she thought was a bond collector. She told me she was deeply embarrassed, but said, "You do anything for your grandkids," and they took advantage of that. Ryan Cook, CBC News, St. John's.
Coming up, two sisters with Olympic dreams, both rising fast but staying humble while they do.
We're just like a normal family at home. We don't really talk about what happens at the pool or at the rink.
Behind the scenes with the McIntosh sisters, Devin Haru gets exclusive access to an extraordinary family.
This is all Summer McIntosh and Laem world record!
That is a moment that will live on in Canadian sports history. Summer McIntosh breaking the world record in the women's 400-meter freestyle at just 16 years old. The accomplishment so impressive she couldn't contain herself after realizing what she'd just done.
Over the past few years, I've just put in my life and so has my family, and to become the best that I can be at the sport that I love. I never thought I was going to break the 400 free world record tonight. It was never even in my dreams. I was just hoping to go under 4 minutes again. So the fact that I went 56 is just, it just blows my mind.
McIntosh broke the record on the opening night of national trials, making it even more special. Her parents were in attendance to watch the whole thing go down. So amazingly, Summer isn't the only one in her family turning heads at the highest level of her sport. Her sister Brooke also just made her figure skating world championship debut. Devin Haru gives us an exclusive look at the work both sisters are putting in to be at the top of their games.
Two sisters, two completely different sports, both rising stars in the pool and on the ice. Summer in the warm Sarasota, Florida weather, diving in for another grueling day of training. Brooke carving up the ice in this Burlington rink, relentlessly going over her turns and twists. The McIntosh sisters are on an athletic pursuit of greatness that has them living apart.
If you asked me 2 years ago if I'd be living in Florida basically full time, I wouldn't believe you.
Despite hours in the pool each day, Summer still has time to show off her oasis.
This beats walking around in snow.
Yeah, we come down as much as we possibly can. Right after practice, we'll just sit on the beach and talk and eat. It's really nice.
But make no mistake, this is no vacation.
I think it's just remembering what you want to achieve and thinking about your big goals and what small things you have to do to get to those big goals and just enjoying it.
McIntosh has taken over. It's the kid, the champion from
She's
Canada.
been dubbed a once-in-a-generation athlete, a world champion last summer, and it seems every time she hits the pool, Summer is breaking records.
Summer McIntosh is the U.S. world record holder in the women's 400 freestyle.
Back in Canada, Brooke and her pairs partner Ben Mimar are exhaustively going over their routine.
It's hard to believe that we're at this spot. It almost doesn't feel real most of the time.
Brooke's figure skating resume is stacked for an 18-year-old, and she has the banners to prove it.
That was huge. Throat triple toe.
On the junior circuit, she set new standards and represented Canada at the Youth Olympics in 2020.
You really love this. What is it about coming to the rink every day that keeps you going, that makes you want to be here?
I just really like putting in the work and I like seeing the results. It's a really satisfying thing.
As always, if practice starts at 6, I'm giving the warm-up out at 5:55. All right, don't come walking in here at 6:02.
Welcome to the Shark Tank, home of the Sarasota club team and Summer's new training center.
Let's go on the 13:30, please.
She goes from breaststroke to backstroke freestyle to fly without pause. 6 times a week, 2 times each day.
Good, good.
This is the coach tasked with getting her to goal.
More legs, more legs. My gift down here is I can just treat her as a person. I don't have to get involved in all of the other stuff that is involved with being one of the best swimmers in Canada, one of the best athletes in Canada. You got to treat them as the whole person, and not just a swimmer. There you go, Summer.
Brent Arkey, an American who's been with this club since 2010, in awe of what Summer, who's just 16, is accomplishing.
Can she break world records? She's capable of doing anything she wants to do.
And he's not the only one.
She has that steely-eyed look. This is like sacrilegious to say, but like a Michael Jordan or somebody like that. I mean, that's, and I don't want to put pressure on her, but the champions have that. The champions have that.
We can get a salad going.
Also in her corner, Summer's mom, Jill McIntosh, who knows the life of a high-performance athlete.
There is Canada's 17-year-old Jill Horsted.
A former swimmer, she represented Canada at the 1984 Olympics. Now living with Summer in Florida.
Can you even wrap your head around what is unfolding for your daughter, considering the path you were on, Jill?
Yes, I mean, Summer's on a much steeper path than I ever was. Talk to Daddy, he's back too. I'm most proud of the people they are. They're kind, fun, wonderful, caring human beings, and that's the goal, is to create, you know, a great person.
It's a full-time job for Jill, making sure Summer is where she needs to be each day for training.
Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Just go.
But she's trying to help lighten the load, like most 16-year-olds working on getting her driver's license.
Don't worry, all Canadians will just be judging if you're a good driver or not.
A reminder of her youth despite her poise in the pool.
Stay low in those knees, okay?
How do you make sense of your family, and specifically you and Summer? I know you're both so humble, but this is pretty cool.
We're just like a normal family at home. We don't really talk about what happens at the pool or at the rink much when Summer and I are together. We're just there for each other because we're going through it at the same time, so we know how it is.
What does success look like for you, Brooke?
Long term, definitely have our eyes set on the Olympics in 2026.
We've created a very intense atmosphere, which Brooke thrives in.
Good hustle. Come on.
Andrew Evans has known the McIntosh family for more than a decade.
And then you turn, and he stays backwards, and you like cut this way and then go.
He's been there through it all with Brooke and recalls the first time both sisters hit the ice.
It was Halloween. Brooke was dressed like a witch, and she's super cute, and I asked her to do a couple of things, and she's super coordinated. Everything is placed and perfect. And then Summer skates by, and Summer's got a helmet on, and she's pushing with only one foot, kind of like on a skateboard. And I looked at my coaching partner, and I pointed at Brooke, and I was like, mine.
Always there for support, a rare moment. Summer has returned from Florida, her first stop directly to the rink to catch Brooke's practice.
When's the last time you guys were all together?
A while. So it's nice to be united again.
After another intense training session, it's back home for some quality family time. It's evident how proud Greg McIntosh is of his daughters.
When your daughter is a world champion at 15 years old, your heart explodes when you see them standing there with the Canadian flag, singing the national anthem, where the whole arena stops to listen. It's an unbelievable feeling you can't explain. Brooke, equally, she's standing there on the podium with her partner. It's the level of pride that your heart wants to explode.
The time at home doesn't last long, though. It's back to practice, apart again, but together in their mission.
Lucky Devin, poolside at the Canadian Swimming Trials in Toronto. You were right there last night when Summer broke that world record. What a way to start this competition.
Adrian, she's being called a generational talent. Welcome to the place they call the fastest pool in Canada. I guess we found out why. Summer McIntosh electrifying the crowd, her mom and dad here cheering her on. They were all together again. What a special night it was for Summer McIntosh. She's back in the pool Thursday through Sunday. The trials will end. She'll focus on World Championships in Japan this summer. And then, of course, the big prize. 16 months away, Adrian, the Paris Olympics. And the buzz around the pool is that when Summer is in the pool, anything can happen.
All right, have a great time. Devin, thank you.
Thanks, Adrian.
Coming up, in a time of high inflation and rising costs, why profits are soaring at Canada's biggest dollar store chain. Plus,
the kids showed how much they love me.
he conquered the Himalayas, the kids conquered his heart. A hero's welcome for a beloved school bus driver in our moment. New earnings results show business is booming for Canada's largest dollar store chain. Dollarama's profits are up, way up. Sophia Harris now on why high inflation has only helped the retailer.
I just got these bamboo organizers.
They're so dainty and cute. The patterns and colors were absolutely adorable.
Savvy shoppers show off their finds at Dollarama.
And they're only $1.50.
Cheap is the new chic, as cash-strapped Canadians struggle with inflation and turn to the country's biggest dollar store for bargains.
It's so cheap and affordable. Anywhere else, the chips in the city are like $6. Here, they're like $2.
Tough times are forcing some retailers to close up shop in Canada, but Dollarama is doing great, reporting a 20% increase in sales and a profit of $260 million for the last quarter. And the retailer has massive expansion plans to grow from 1,400 to 2,000 stores.
There's no perishables. There's no dairy.
This expert says the company is able to keep prices low by selling simple products, which require little overhead.
It certainly minimizes the amount of staff that they require. And staff is a big, big factor in retail costs these days, especially with escalating minimum wages.
But Dollarama has also been hit by inflation. Last year, its highest price point rose to $5. Any higher, and some customers might be turned off.
I think the maximum price for me is $5. I am a student and the cost here in Vancouver is very high, right?
There's another hurdle. Dollar-themed rivals from the U.S. and Asia have been expanding their presence in Canada. Even the new Zellers is trying to get in on the action.
One of the things they have to watch out for is competition. And as this sector grows, more people will enter this sector. More retailers will go for it as well.
What do you think of the prices?
You can't beat them. $1 and $2, so it's unbelievable.
So, good times for Dollarama, but maybe too good if the competition keeps moving in. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Vancouver.
You are looking at Luc Leblanc, high in the Himalayan mountains, hoisting the Acadian flag at the base camp of Mount Everest. He's a school bus driver from New Brunswick, and he made the trek earlier this month. But back home, his whole school was watching his every move and cheering him on. When he got back behind the wheel on Monday, the welcome he received was moment enough to be our moment.
Driving the bus for 6 years now. Always with the same bus, always with the same kids. I decided I want to do something wild this year. It was always Everest. We're climbing Everest. The trek itself to base camp is just like unreal. It's surreal. It's so big. Oh, the guy. So found out the entire school was watching every move I was making. And when I drove towards the school, I seen there was like lots of kids outside. Whoa, this is for me? They cheer me on like a hero, even though I'm not a hero.
Pourquoi ce chapeau-là?
Parce que Monsieur Luc porte tout le temps des chapeaux sur la tête.
Like I told them, this is better than the mountain to me. I love all those kids. They love me and I love them, and a day without them I miss them.
What a great day for him. Could you hear what the kids were saying? Monsieur Luc, that's what they always call him. And he said his message for the kids then was go get your own adventure. It doesn't have to be a mountain, but whatever it is, go get it. That is the national for March 29th. Thank you for being with us. Tomorrow evening, join our colleagues at The World at 6 for special coverage from Israel. Multiple issues are making this an especially fraught time in the region. The World at 6 with Susan Bonner on CBC Radio and the CBC Listen app. Have a good night.